Get ready for a special birthday episode, and that means a good deal is coming your way to help your acting career get seen. And I'm going to share with you 9 booking stories that come with 9 powerful lessons to move your career forward. Get ready for a great one. Welcome to Get Scene Unscripted. I'm your host, Jesse Malinowski. We are going to dive into acting insights, meet industry pros, and master the business. Don't forget to subscribe and share. We're keeping you behind the scenes and ahead of the game. What's up? I am so glad you're here. And so today is September 9th. Month 9, day 9, and it is yours truly birthday. I don't think that's a sentence. It is my birthday. I'm very excited. And so I wanted to put together a very special episode. So what's going to happen here in just a couple of minutes is I'm going to share 9 booking stories. With those 9 stories will come 9 very important lessons that will help you in your career. And then, of course, I got to hook you up. Today will be a very special day where you'll be able to get an incredible deal to help you move forward in your acting career beyond just the incredible lessons that I'm going to be able to share. So we are Get Seen, so it will help you get seen in your acting career. So stay tuned. All right, so this is what's happening. Story number 1 comes at a time in my acting career that was very, very tough. Well, the booking was for the show Devious Maids. It was on Lifetime, and it was a very, very special booking for me because prior to this booking, I had other bookings, but I had not booked in over 2.5 years. And I remember I was struggling with this so much. I was having such a hard time with this. I did not understand why I could book multiple things, feel so incredible, and then everything come to a halt. It made no sense to me. And I remember in my preparation for my auditions, I would say, okay, I'm going to go get coaching. That didn't work. I'm not going to go get coaching. That didn't work. I'm going to do it in the morning. I'm going to do it in the evening. I'm going to prepare for days. I'm not going to prepare at all. I'm going to have a shot of tequila and then do it. Like, I tried so many things and I could not figure out why or how to get my career that felt so stuck moving again. And when I finally did book, I booked the role of man, all right? So for some people, maybe not that exciting, but I'll tell you at this time in my life, in my career, this was one of the most, I can still see myself exactly where I was. I remember I cried a little bit because I was just so grateful, so grateful for this booking. And so the lesson that I believe comes with this is that every booking means something, so pay attention and don't take it for granted. You know, at that time in my life, because I wasn't getting these types of bookings, it was very apparent. It was very noticeable to me in my life that this small role, the role of man in Devious Maids, was so impactful, so powerful to me. And in having lots of different actor friends that book lots of jobs and helping thousands of actors over the last decade, I will have lots of conversations with actors that belittle themselves, belittle the bookings. And they're like, oh, well, it's non-union. Oh, it's only $100 a day. Oh, I only had one line. Oh, they belittle the booking. And that's not a formula for success. And so I want you to make sure, no matter what the booking is, to pay attention and don't take it for granted. Every booking means something. That's the lesson. But if we don't stop and look around, we'll miss it. And so again, that one for me, it was so impactful. It was so powerful for me. And that was the lesson that I got out of it that allows me to stop after every booking now and not take it for granted. And I remember an old friend of mine, Hakeem, I remember he would say that when we were together and we were living in the bungalow, myself, Hakeem, and Smalls. And that's why we had a celebration every time somebody would book. And I remember Hakeem would say, like, look, man, booking, only one person gets it. We can't act like this just happens all the time, even though, at that time in our life, if somebody was booking like every month, it felt like it was a very exciting, fun time. And I remember him saying that, and remember being like, yeah, you're right. We do need to celebrate these. So every booking means something. Pay attention. Do not take it for granted. So that's the first booking story with its first lesson. The second booking is the movie Boy Erased. And this is a really powerful lesson that I'm about to share with you. So listen. It's this. The audition can be more rewarding than the booking. The audition can be more rewarding than the booking. The reason why that lesson is so powerful and so needed in your life right now is because that's our job as actors, is to audition. And if we can get into the place of it feeling more rewarding, it being more rewarding, then we're going to be so much more successful. It's going to set us up when it comes to longevity for our career. And the reason why I learned this lesson was I had the audition, I sent in the self-tape, and I had a callback. And at this time, it was in person. And so I went in person, and the scene was going to be really, really cool. I was actually going to be opposite Russell Crowe, and I was going to be like kind of arguing with him, kind of fighting with him. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be badass. And so the callback was with the director, Joel Edgerton, who's also a very successful actor. And I think because of his acting experience, we just played in the audition room. This callback lasted like 30, 40 minutes. We sat across from one another on a table, and just talked the role out, then got up and did it multiple times. It was a blast. And so then what ended up happening was Joel called me and said, hey, I'm sorry, the role got cut, but I want to give you another role. I know you'll be able to do it. It's completely different. You don't have to audition again. I know you're capable to do it. We'll do it. And so I did, and it was very different. And then when the movie comes out, that role is like barely in the movie either, and I go from this named role to like man in diner. And it was great that Joel still gave me something. He still wanted me to be part of the film. But I go to the wrap party, and that's a blast. But when I think about that entire experience, audition to wrap party, for sure the callback was the most gratifying. And if we can all take that lesson of the audition can be more rewarding than the booking, man, you're going to have more fun in your auditions. You're going to enjoy them. You are going to set yourself up for success when it comes to you moving forward, like for a long time in this business. And so I love that lesson that I got from Boy Erased. The third booking story that I have for you comes from the booking of Mayor of Kingstown. When I booked this, I was so excited. This was a moment that I actually was like, when I get to put this on my demo reel, like this is the type of acting career that I was hoping to create. Sure, we can always say we wanted bigger roles and stuff, but when it comes to the diversity of my roles and all the different roles that I've been able to play throughout the years, I'm like, damn, this is awesome. So I was very excited about Mayor of Kingstown. And so I'm in this cell, and because I'm an inmate at the prison, and I've done all this homework on the role and stuff, and so they put me in the cell, right? And so imagine, if you're in a jail cell, it's pretty tight. And so I'm on my first day, I'm there and I'm doing it, and I'm kind of like, I don't know, I can't even see the camera. Is anyone even watching me? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, you know what? I'm here to act, so I'm just gonna do it anyway. I don't know if the camera's on me or not. And normally I wouldn't like waste my energy if the camera's not on me and I'm like kind of by myself. And I think sometimes that happens on set. And I'm like, gosh, and you kind of feel so forgotten about. And I'm sure if you've been on set, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like you're over here doing your thing and a lot of stuff's happening over here. And you're like, does anyone see me? And so I'm like, whatever. I'm here. I'm going to play full out anyway. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to do it. And so I'm doing all my stuff and I'm like going for it 100%, you know, and then I finally like go to the cell door and I interact and stuff. And we do this take after take after take after take. And again, I'm thinking, why am I doing this? I don't even know why I'm doing this. No one sees me. This is silly. I should just stand here and wait to give my lines. And then after, I don't know how many takes, like 20 or something, they cut and the director comes to talk to the series regulars about something. But before he goes to talk to them, he comes to me and he just looks at me and he smiles and he goes, "Oh, you're so good. Everything you're doing is so good." And I was like, oh, damn. And so the lesson that is really needed is that people are watching even when it doesn't feel like it. How often do we send in these auditions and these self-tapes and we put in this work and we give it everything we got and we're like, does anyone see it? Is anyone noticing? They are. People are watching and people are seeing you even when it doesn't feel like it. And you have to know that. Sometimes you're not going to get the acclaims. Sometimes you're not going to get the pat on the back. Sometimes you're not going to get the compliment. But if you are showing up and you're giving it everything you got, someone is noticing. Someone sees you, I promise. And we have to trust that in this business, especially because it's gone so virtual and we do feel so separated. That you have to know people are seeing you. There's different times you're doing auditions and the casting director sent that on to the director or the producer or somebody said, "Damn, that's a good job. Ooh, that was impressive. This is why I love calling this person in," or whatever it is, or you're on set and they're like, "Ooh, that was good," but they don't have time to tell you. So people are watching even when it doesn't feel like it. So the fourth booking is from Bad Boys Ride or Die. Bad Boys Ride or Die has a very, very important lesson in it, which is you belong. Don't be scared. You belong. Don't be scared. This is such an exciting story. I love this story so much. But when I booked Bad Boys, I'm a big Bad Boys fan, and I really like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. And so when I booked, I was like, well, good excuse to watch Bad Boys all over again. And so I watched Bad Boys 1, 2, 3 so I could show up to 4. And I was just looking for like, hey, is there anything I might be able to bring? And I actually did feel like I like learned some stuff that I was able to really then incorporate into my really awesome scene where they show up to the trailer park and they're trying to like switch out their clothes because they're fugitives now. And then me and my redneck brother or something, show up like, hey, what are y'all doing? And so I remember being like, I'm 100% gonna get more lines in this scene. I swear. And so but again, I wasn't like, I'm just gonna improvise out of nowhere, right? I wanted to make sure to be smart about it, right? And I know the scene is about Will and Martin, not about me. And so what can I do? And so to make a long story short, we go through it. And if you watch the scene, they're like making up a Reba song, and then they start going, bad boys, what you gonna do, right? And that's when then the truck is supposed to come, and then we jump out of the way. And I was like, I actually think there's, when I watched the movies, a common denominator is that the two characters that Will and Martin play almost don't make it a lot. That was a big lesson that I got in watching the trilogy again. They almost don't make it a lot. And so I thought, well, this could be another moment that they almost don't make it. right? We already show up with the guns, and then the truck is supposed to come save them. I thought, well, what if there's a moment where we're like, we're not falling for this. They almost don't make it again. And so then I added in the line, yeah, that's no Reba song, right? And I bring my shotgun back up to Will Smith's face. And immediately Will Smith improvises back, yeah, it's from her mixtape. And I remember being like, yes, this is great. And it was great for a couple of different reasons. One, I think I added to the scene. I made it better. And then I was able to give Will, the star of the movie, another good line, right? He was able to improvise a line back, which then accomplishes what the scene needs to do, which is like make him look good, give him the laugh, all that stuff, right? And I think especially when you're with big A-listers, you show up to set and you're like, oh, I'm not sure I belong here. This isn't for me. And it's like, that's not true. You belong. Don't be scared. Now, I'm not saying improvise all the time. I'm not saying just make up lines and step on toes or anything like that. What I'm saying is show up confident. What I'm saying is show up like you belong to be there. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. And when we show up in a way that feels scared, not confident, I think the crew, the director, the other actors, they can sense that. And so the lesson here is you belong. Don't be scared. Or maybe change it to like, you belong, act like it. You belong, act like it. I shouldn't tell you what not to do. I should tell you what to do. So don't worry about not being scared. Just worry about showing up and knowing that you belong. A fifth booking story with a very fantastic lesson is my very first booking ever, the film Scare Zone. And I loved this. It was my first booking and I filmed 4 weeks. It was in Orlando, Florida. And the directors and producers had some sort of in with Universal. And so we were able to use one of the haunted houses at Halloween Horror Nights after Halloween Horror Nights. And I'm a big haunted house fan. And so I loved this. Like for 4 weeks, we're just doing everything in this haunted house. It was awesome. And I remember this audition experience though. I did it, and I swear I walked out, said, definitely didn't get that one. And I know that you have one of these stories too. Definitely didn't get that one. And then boom, you book it. And so the lesson is like, how you think it's going is never how it's going. And it's important that we remember this because we're so hard on ourselves. We're always judging ourselves way more than we should. We're always saying we should have done better or we could have done better and all this stuff. So it's just like, how often does this story happen? I've heard it from so many friends, like I definitely didn't get it. And then you did. I bring this up to say, how often do we give ourselves a hard time, beat ourselves up, say I did such a bad job, when really we probably should be giving ourselves credit? And at this time in my life, I literally was going to auditions and I was like, I booked it. Every single one. I was like, booked it. I didn't book every single one, obviously, but I went in with that energy. I left with that energy. But for some reason, this one, I was like, I definitely didn't get that one. I don't know what the heck happened in there. I messed up. I screwed up. Definitely didn't get it. Boom. Yes, I did. I did get it. And so how you think it's going is never how it's going. And so I think we need to give ourselves grace. This comes with giving yourself grace, and I think putting more focus on the effort. Because for that audition, I did my homework. I was prepared. I didn't drop a line. I showed up on time. I did everything that I put in 100% effort. That's what I should have been focusing on. Not, do I think I got it, which is impossible to know. Right? Sometimes there's also the ones where you're like, I swear to God, I got it. And then you do get it. That also happens. But I think we should focus more on our effort rather than how we think it has gone. I think you will set yourself up for success so much better that way. And so how you think it's going is never how it's going. I remember someone in our mentorship sent me a text message. Oh my God, I'm so excited for this callback. And and then they do the callback. They're like, I messed that up. I did not do well. And I swear I said, my very first booking, I thought the same thing and I did get it. And then she responds, shout out Trini. Then she responds, all right, I'm going to stick with that energy. And then like 20 minutes later, she sends me a screenshot of the booking. And she was like, oh my God, you're right. I was like, I'm a psychic, And so, yeah, how you think it's going is never how it's going. So give yourself grace and focus on the effort instead. And then give yourself credit for that. And if you're not putting in the effort you need to put in, then that's a different conversation with yourself. So that's booking story and lesson number 5. Number 6 is from the booking First Wives Club. And now I remember when I got this audition, I actually had auditioned for 2 roles. One was recurring guest star, and another one was co-star. And so obviously I didn't care about the co-star at all. I was like, I'm going to go get coaching for the recurring guest star. That's the one I want. So I put all this effort into the recurring guest star audition. The co-star, I'm like, okay, we're just going to do this real quick. I don't even want this one. That's the one I booked. And by the way, it turned into recurring guest star. So that's a separate lesson. You never know what things are going to turn into. But the lesson here is care less gives you a better shot. Caring less gives you a better shot. And I've learned this within doing this podcast, talking with so many different actors. We've done over 100 episodes, and the actors that care less, and when I say, it doesn't mean don't care. It just means that they have other things going on, so they can't put as much effort and energy into it. So because of that, they are better, I guess. I don't know what it is. But the recurring guest star was like, I'm going to give it everything I got. This one, I don't really care that much, so I'm just going to do it. I don't want to turn it down, so I'm just going to do it. And there you go, guys. And that's the one that I ended up getting. And so there's just something about caring less gives you a better shot. And I think what that means for you is to fill your life up with other things. In this particular scenario, I had 2 auditions, and one I put more effort in than the other. But I think when you fill your life up with other things, other hobbies, other things that mean something to you, and you really truly put focus on that, you set yourself up for success when it comes to your audition life. Like, you almost want to set your life up to where like auditions become an inconvenience. That's how many other things you have going on. It's like, shoot, all right, I got to get this audition done, right? As opposed to, finally, another audition, I have to get it. I'm telling you, when you go at it with that energy, very, very rare that you're going to get it. So caring less gives you a better shot. That's lesson number 6 from the booking First Wives Club, where I played Tony, and that turned into, 5-6 episodes, multiple seasons, flew to Miami to film. It was a blast. Number 7, this booking is American Reunion. And so the lesson here, well, I'll tell you the story first, and then we'll get to the lesson. But I remember when I booked this, I was in my early 20s or mid 20s. I don't know, how old was I? Who cares? But I remember I had the callback for this, and shout out to my mom on this one. I had my callback, and I had to go up to Atlanta. I was living in Orlando. I was at a pool party the day before. There's really cool rooftop pool party, and my mom calls. She's like, "Don't you have a callback in Atlanta tomorrow?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's tomorrow." And she's like, "Don't you think you should be like focusing and preparing today?" And I was like, "Nah, I don't know." And so I hang up, and good thing I had good friends. And I was like, "Guys, my mom thinks I should leave the party and focus on my callback." And they're like, "Yeah, like that's probably a good idea." And I was like, "All right, fine." So I leave, and my mom ends up going with me. We drive to Atlanta, drive 7 hours to Atlanta, in the room for 4 minutes, 7 hours back. But I end up booking it. Okay. So this is how it goes. This is like the early days of working local. My agent calls me, says, Jesse, you have a real good shot at getting this. You have to have a local address. Get a local address. Call me back. So Hakeem comes through with the win. His sister, it lives in Marietta. I'm like, here you go. Here's the address. They're like, great. Calls me back a little bit later. Boom, you booked it. I'm like, fantastic. So now what? She's like, I'm going to try to get information for you. Check back in. I'm trying to get, right now they don't have any information. I'm like, okay. So she sends me, so this is, I think I have to be on set on Monday. And now we have gotten to Sunday. And so I have no address. I have no place to stay. And I just get in the car and I start driving to Atlanta. At this moment, I have no address of where production is, where I'm filming, anything. I'm just like, drive to Atlanta. So I'm driving to Atlanta with no address. I'm like, I assume I'll get an address on the way, right? So this is like, at this point, I probably don't even know how to like really read a call sheet. So I finally get something. And so I just drive to the production office, which if you've booked things, you're not really ever going to the production office. So I just drive to the production office. I'm like, I'll go there. So I drive to the production office. They're like, oh, hey. I'm like, hi, I'm like Kyle. They're like, oh, hi, good to see you. What's up? Everyone's on set. And then they give me the other address. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. And I'm like, all right, awesome. Well, bye. So now I just drive to set. Oh, wait, no, it must have been a Friday. I don't know. Cause now I'm just driving to set. Maybe I had to be on set on like Tuesday and now it's Monday. Maybe that's what it was. So now Monday they're filming. So then now I just drive directly to set and it's an overnight shoot. And I remember I get to this set and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Like, cause it's just so big. I've just never seen anything like it. And so I just get to set. I'm like, just looking around. I'm like, just walking in places. And I'm like, I play Kyle. Just telling everyone. I have no plan. I have no place to stay. I'm supposed to be on set the next day. I've just driven to set. I have no plan right now. And so I'm just like, I guess I'll get a hotel or something somewhere. So I'm just walking around set and, I introduce myself to people and they're like, well, we're getting ready to go to lunch. Like, you can have lunch with us. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, I'm just going to go sit with the stars, right? Jason Biggs. Like, I'm just going to go sit with them. And I'm like, hey, what's up? I play Kyle. And they're probably like, who is this guy? When I think back to it now, it's crazy. And so then I like kind of have lunch with them and then I end up leaving. I like go into the craft service truck. I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm like talking to them. Hey, is there a nearby hotel? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I live in Florida, and I need a place to stay. And so luckily, shout out to Remington Steele, who does stunts now. And so many credits. Shout out to Remington. Remington is doing craft service on American Reunion. And he's like, oh, you need a place to stay? I have a room. And it actually has a bed in it. And I was like, yeah, how much you want to charge me to stay there? I'm here for 3 months. Guys, I went to Atlanta for 3 months with no plan, nowhere to stay. And then boom, I had a place to stay. And so the lesson is you don't need to have everything figured out. And so often we're like, I'll do it when. And sometimes the picture doesn't seem as clear. And because of that, we don't take any action. You don't need to have everything figured out. Sometimes it reveals itself to you when you arrive. And so you have to give yourself that chance to figure it out when you arrive by taking action, by moving, by going. And so that's one of my favorite lessons from American Reunion. Me just driving, going everywhere, no idea what I was doing. But I was just like, I'm here, I'm ready. Where you tell me where to go, I'm going to figure it out. I'm not even worried about it. So sometimes we don't have to have everything figured out. So let's get to booking 8, lesson 8 here, which comes from Jack Reacher, never go back. Now, at this time, Jack Reacher came, this booking came right next to Devious Maids. So I had gone on a run where I didn't book for 2.5 years, but then I booked multiple things in a row. And I think this booking came like directly after. And shout out to Alex White, who was my agent at the time. I swear, I think he was just begging casting to like book Jesse on anything. He doesn't like, we don't care. He just needs any kind of confidence boost. I don't care if he's like dead guy in the background. If it's a co-star, we'll take it. So I think he like convinced Liz Coulon to put me on Jack Reacher. So I booked Jack Reacher as one of the guys in the like, tech room that's like going after Jack, Tom Cruise's character, Jack Reacher. And so the lesson that I have here is it is simply not about you. And I'll tell you why. For this one, I remember I'm in the room. I'm in the room and I have like one line or two lines or something like that. And I don't even remember what they were. I have no idea what they were. Like he's over there, or I got it, or I'm gonna push the button. I don't know what it was. And so I'm sitting here, and now they're putting extras everywhere, and the camera's over here, and then all of a sudden they put an extra and blocks my block. They put the extra in between me and the camera, and I was like, "What the hell? This doesn't make any." I'm the principal actor. And I was like, I may have been too scared. I don't think I said anything. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And so now there's all these extras around, including an extra that is blocking me in the camera. And I'm like, this is so annoying. This sucks. And so, but this is the thing, is that it's just simply not about you. There's so many booking stories about how we work so hard to get a booking and then something like that happens on set and then we get so angry. We get so upset. Listen, the producers, the director, the people on Jack Reacher did not care about me at all because they cared about the movie. Because they cared about the bigger puzzle that they were building. And I was a very, 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 very small puzzle piece in the bigger picture of what this film was. And if we allow these types of circumstances and scenarios to break us down and make us angry, it really messes up your mindset. And if we understand that it's just not about you, right? Like, look, they weren't doing that to hurt my feelings. They were doing that because they needed to shoot the scene. They wanted the scene to look a certain way, and it looked a certain way. I still get residuals from Jack Reacher, and you will not find me in that movie. Play, where's Waldo? Where's Jesse? Birthday, where's Jesse? I don't think you ain't gonna find me. But I got paid. I get residuals. I'm in the credits because it's not about me. They were like, look, we got to make this scene, and then they got to move on to the next scene. And then, they're just making the film. They're not doing it because they're like, oh yeah, his audition. We got to make sure to really showcase him because he's been doing this for years and years, and he's driven back and forth from New Orleans, and he's working local. And, and he actually lives in Atlanta, and he's putting his heart and soul into this. We got to make sure not to hurt his feelings. That's never going to happen because at the end of the day, this is a business and they're focusing on the movie and what's best for the movie. And you might have a better idea for what's best for the movie, but you're not the one in charge. They are, and they are running the show, and just know that it's never personal. Again, it's not about you. And I think in those, I've just heard so many of these examples. And yes, it can be hurtful, but it's just because we're making it about us. We're making it about us. And it's not about you. It's about this as a business, and it's about the bigger picture. It's about that specific scene and what it's doing in the bigger picture, whether you have an extra get put in front of you or you get completely cut out of a scene. Or I have all sorts of stories from friends and my own that is like, dang, that sucks. But if we take it off of us and understand that it's not about us, it's about that specific project. And this is their viewpoint of what's going to make this project the best. They're not thinking you did a bad job. It's about the story, right? They didn't block me because I'm ugly, or they didn't block me because they just probably didn't notice. And like, I was such a small element in the grand scheme of this scene that it didn't really matter. So remember that it's simply not about you. And that comes from Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. And the 9th booking with a 9th lesson on September 9th, 9/9, everybody, comes from the booking Yule Log 2. I play the role of Beauregard, and this was so fun. I had so many days on set. This is probably one of the highest I've ever been on a call sheet. And the lesson is that sometimes it's better to be a leader than an actor. I took such pride in showing up to this set, wanting to do an incredible job, not only as an actor, but as a leader on this set. I realized pretty quickly that a lot of people really enjoyed the energy and the positivity that I brought, and that sometimes it didn't always feel that way on set, depending on who was there. And I was like, oh, wow, I can take on this responsibility of, at least when Beauregard is here, everyone knows we're going to move fast. There's not going to be any problems. I'm going to make everybody feel good. And I felt that responsibility, and I really took it on. And I'll tell you what, I enjoyed that so much more than I don't know. I really liked the performance I did. I really had a good time with that too. But I really enjoyed being a leader on this set. And so it just really makes me think about all the different areas we can be a leader in our acting community, be a leader in your household, be a leader within your friend group, in taking on that responsibility and understanding that you may be an actor, but you may want to focus on being a better leader. If you are a better leader, then I promise you'll probably be a better actor too. And so that was a very important lesson that I got from Yule Log that really just made me excited about stepping on more film sets, to bring that type of energy, to bring that type of helpfulness, to be able to understand that my energy is impactful, that what I bring is impactful. How I act and how I treat others is impactful. And we have no idea what other people are going through. And so you have a choice to be able to choose to be a leader and to say, I'm going to make a positive impact in the people around me's lives. And I learned that with Yule Log 2, and I really loved it. And I love taking it on, and I can't wait to continue to take it on onto the next set. And so I hope you do too. All right. Those are the 9 bookings that come with 9 lessons that I hope, and I'm sure that they have, really helped you in your journey. If you are listening, please leave us a review. Let me know what you are thinking about the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, drop in the comments which lesson, which booking was most impactful to you. And so I did promise that I was going to give you a goodie, especially if you're here till the very end. And so we have what's called Get Seen Plus. It's our membership that is online that's absolutely incredible. So this is how it works. you get seen by 2 different industry pros every single month, okay? So if you think about this in the grand scheme of a year, you're talking about 24 different industry pros. And when you consider how much it costs, I'll get to that in a second, over the span of a year, 1 booking and you are in the green. So I want you to just ask yourself, if you think 24 new connections or maybe improving some connections that you already have isn't going to get you closer to a booking faster, then I'm not really sure what is. It's all who you know in this business, and that's part of the triangle of success when it comes to what we do here at Get Seen is networking those connections, right? So that's why it's so important. So if you book 1 job, it already pays for itself, okay? So I want to make it so easy for you to go ahead and give this a shot on my birthday. 9 lessons, September 9th, month 9. So I'm going to allow you to try it for $9. All right. So your first month is only $9. You'll see a link in the description and you'll use the promo code B-Day. That's right, because it's my B-Day. And you'll be able to try this for $9. Now, how you get seen by these 2 industry pros every single month is 1 through a virtual Q&A where we hang out for an hour and a half or so, and you have the ability to connect and ask any kind of question or any type of conversation you want to have with that industry pro. We bring in different agents and casting directors. And then we have something that we do called Audition Insight, and that is where your self-tape gets evaluated by that agent or casting director. And we have this broken up into multiple sessions, so not too many people are being shown at the same time. We want to make sure that you're not getting overloaded. However, this gives you so much value because it's not too often that you're able to just sit in the casting director's chair and see self-tape after self-tape after self-tape after self-tape and really see where you stack up. Not to mention getting the feedback from the industry pro. So you get both of those things every single month, okay? So this is normally $77 a month. That's the price of just one of our workshops, and you get seen by 2 different industry pros. But for your first month, you can do it for $9 using the promo code B-Day. That's right, use the promo code B-Day, and you will get Seen Plus for your first month, only $9. So again, it's impossible for this not to give you a lot of value for this month, my birthday month. And then if you love it, you can stay. It's a program that is month to month. You can cancel whenever you'd like. And so I'd love for you to join us and be part of our community. Next month, we'll also be doing our, we'll do different get-togethers. So I told you I like haunted houses. So we get together at Netherworld. This will be the 4th year that we're doing that. So hopefully you'll stay with us into October, get seen by 2 more industry pros, and then join us for our in-person kind of get together. Sometimes we just do some stuff to get the actors together so we can build those relationships and friendships in a powerful way. So this was Get Seen Unscripted, the special birthday episode where I brought you 9 booking stories that came with 9 lessons, and now you can try Get Seen Plus for only $9. So thanks so much for hanging out here with me. I truly appreciate you. This is an incredible way for me to just give everything I can to help you on your journey and make it easier, more fulfilling, and more positive. So thanks again for being here. We'll see you on the next one.